a run for me? we need some runs. Wait, what's going on? You remind me of Aubrey Huff a little bit.
I'll take that. There's a couple of
Yeah,
is that a compliment or?
Don't act like him. Don't act like him.
As baseball players, you guys have one of the most rigorous schedules in all sports. How do you go from a loss like 24 hours ago? How do you turn around and get ready for a game today?
You just gotta have a short memory. You know, it's tough sometimes when you go out there and you lose that badly, especially on a day like that where we get our rings and everything. But just as baseball players, you have to have short memories. If you have a bad day personally and you go over 4 with 3 strikeouts, you just have to forget about it as quickly as possible because you have a ton more games to play. I think when you keep that in mind, that you have a lot more games to play, it makes it a little bit easier.
In 2011, you were back and forth between Fresno and here. Now, what is your relationship with Bochy compared to 2011 and now?
You know, it's different, but not in a way that it was bad then and good now. It's just, you know, I wasn't around as much. When I was up here, I didn't really have that feeling like I was completely 100% part of the team yet. So I kind of just sat back in my locker, didn't say much, didn't talk to anybody. Now it's like, you know, it's almost like we're a family in here. I think it showed last year when we went to the postseason, when that chemistry kind of showed. Yes, it's more like a family now. You can go talk to anybody. I talk to Boch a lot more. We kind of joke around with each other, and that's the kind of mentality we have with everybody else in the locker room.
Everyone knows what the Dodgers do. Everyone seems to want to pick the Dodgers to not only win the division but the World Series. Does that help you guys at all, knowing as defending champs, you seem to be again the underdog and play with a little chip on your shoulder?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of shocking that we are still the underdogs, but I think it's a role that we kind of like. Just kind of be under the radar a little bit. We can just kind of hang around for a long time and then kind of make our move, you know, in the final stretch. It definitely worked out well for us last year, so we don't see why it couldn't happen again this year. Yes.
Who's your closest friend on the team?
We won't tell anyone.
No pressure.
Well, the person I hang out with off the field the most is probably Bumgarner. I think we probably understand each other a little bit more, both personality-wise and just speaking, because most people don't know what he's saying half the time, but I do. I speak Southern, so yeah. I mean, our wives are close. We live in the same apartment building, so that's who we hang out quite a bit.
All right, I think everybody else is going to ask, but what's the coolest part about being a professional baseball player?
Well, there's a difference in being a minor league ball player and a major league ball player, obviously, but best thing, I mean, obviously you have stuff catered to you at all times. That's not bad.
A little Olive Garden?
Yeah, you get some Olive Garden, you may get a free meal every now and then. I don't think I paid yet at the House of Prime Rib, which makes me happy. You know, the water pressure in the showers is actually a lot different, and that may sound a little weird, but it's amazing when you get in there and you got good water pressure coming out, and you got thick water streams. You're a lot more comfortable.
You're a big fan of Olive Garden.
I'm a huge fan of Olive Garden. You know, I get a lot of crap for that too.
What is it about Olive Garden?
It's mainly the salad dressing. The unlimited breadsticks, and when you can dip the breadsticks in Alfredo sauce. And then what gets me though is when people say the Olive Garden is gross, because, okay, I understand you not liking Olive Garden, but it's not gross. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Yeah, it's not gross. I mean, you know, that drives me nuts, but you know, I'm not into trying new stuff all the time. You can ask my wife that. I don't like to try anything new. If I'm absolutely forced to try something new, I will, but I'm not gonna like it while I'm doing it. So I can stick with what I know, and that's Olive Garden.
Can you explain Hunter Pence before, like, his pregame speeches during the postseason? How was it going?
What did you get out of the pregame speeches?
I'm terrible at impersonations, but I can give you an idea of what it was like. I mean, it was, first of all, it came out of nowhere. Most gave us, it's like a Bible story. Gideon. And then Hunter gets up there and says, "I got something I want to say." We're like, "Oh, okay, here we go again." You know, something. But he gets up there and he starts talking, and you just like see so much emotion in his face. And it's like he went through the entire spectrum of emotions. Like he was just like angry at one point, and then he wanted to cry at another point, and then he was happy, and then he wanted to throw chairs again. I don't know what was happening, but I think the thing I tell everybody is that it was real genuine. You know how you can see through the BS sometimes, and there's a lot of times when people get up there and talk and like this guy's BS. Nobody, it doesn't affect anybody. But his speech was so genuine, and you could tell that he meant every word he said. It was so heartfelt that you couldn't help it. They couldn't help but move you a little bit. And it gave us just that tiny spark we needed to kind of get through that game. And even though it's a cliche, we really took it one game at a time. I mean, we had to. If you were worried about tomorrow's game, well, then that was going to take your focus away from today's game. And you had your chance to win it would go way down if that happened. So we really had to focus on taking it one day at a time.
That's great. Thank you, Grant.
Thank you.
Really nice.
You guys. These guys.
Those are good questions, too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
These guys here.
What's happening? How do you do?
How you doing,
and
Katie
Brock
Batch?
and Katie,
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Hey guys.
to meet you.
Dana,
Brock, how you doing?
Casey, Jordan, Patrick, and Brian.
Yeah, this is called the power of the finger. Where's Barry? Barry, get over here.
Barry, you're being summoned.
Mr. T. Hold it right there. Yeah. How'd that feel?
That's a good look for you.
You know what?
And don't try to be smarter than the fans. Don't try to prove. I didn't try. Giants fans had followed this team for 50 years. This is my first year. I was thinking, they know more about it than I do. I'm not going to impress them with, trying to go through Giants history and narrate stuff that they already know about. So I definitely took that. Definitely.
Rockies, Giants. Okay. Okay.
And you can
And go.
open their stick mic
We've got
and
night
slide on.
baseball here at AT&T Park. It'll be another sellout crowd, game one of the
Flying away.
Hard into the right hand.
7.
Scout's got home.
Take one. All right. Before. Before. That's on B.
It's a pattern. Yeah, and it's kind of like
One.
he has a cadence, and I kind of get
Go
used
to
to
4.
like when there's a lot of action going on, I can sense that the
35.
replay is becoming real
Take
time.
5. And add the front slide on.
Situation.